Man, that game was a movie. That was insane. 3-0 now for your Miami Dolphins as they hold off the Buffalo Bills, beating them 21-19. I feel, so many feelings right now because I love Ken Dorsey. I love Ken Dorsey with a passion. But my God, was I laughing my ass off seeing him freak out because they ran out of time. That was a bananas ending to this game. This Dolphins team, in all honesty, the logo should just be changed to two giant testicles. Just put it in aqua and orange between that little orange sun, just dangling like from a truck and Davy, dude. A couple of truck nuts. That's what this Dolphins logo should be changed to, between the big plays, the big calls, and the big defensive stands. This team has shown so much onions through 3 weeks, between beating the Patriots, then, the ultimate comeback last week, and then this game, which was in insane heat, bodies dropping all over the place. For whatever reason, it's seeming like the Bills got to take whatever timeouts they wanted to just for a breather. And that defense going out there, basically being on the field for the entire damn game. Who knows what the real time was? I don't even know what the ultimate count ended up being. And they were able to hold the best team in the NFL, so-called former best team in the NFL, and held them to 17 points. 17 points, dude, for a game where they had the ball basically the entire time. Josh Allen's out here just holding it on. And let me tell you something. Very interesting for old Thor arm over here, who supposedly got this God-given gift to throw the ball wherever he wants. A lot of dinking and dunking from old Josh Allen. He dinks, he dunks, he dinks, he dunks, he dinks, he dunks. But the biggest throw of the game came from an injured Tua Tagovailoa. A real piss whistle down the middle to Jalen Waddle. I was told that Josh Allen had the stronger arm. And maybe by theory he does, but you didn't see it in this game. Now, is he terrifying to track down, and the Dolphins missed a gazillion tackles on him, and that's probably why every drive was elongated? Yeah, that was definitely a thing. But stop them when it mattered, When it looked like things were bleak, when it looked like things were going away for the Miami Dolphins, when you were wondering, should they let them score? Should they let them in the end zone? And you see if you can come up with a big play down on the other side. The Dolphins, they came up huge. Big hits from Jerome Baker. Near pickups from Xavier Howard. Having him so shook he's out there skipping passes like it's rocks on a lake. They had him shook. They had him beat up. And a lot of people were going at Josh Boyer early in this game because, Josh Allen was carving up the blitz. His 2 touchdown passes were lollygagging right into the end zone between Singletary and McKenzie. The dudes weren't even touched. There was nobody there. Easiest throws you could ever have. And you're like, man, this dude is going to light the Dolphins up today. And that was it. After he got that second touchdown, it was the ultimate flex game of bend, don't break, which is kind of exactly how Tua Tagovailoa was today. He was literally bend, but he did not break. He said, I think it was Mike McDaniel said after the game that his back was like Gumby. And as we know about Gumby, Gumby's bendable, dude. He can bend into any shape that he wants. And what Tua Tagovailoa bent into was a touchdown throwing machine. And he hit Waddle for a beautiful pass in the limited times that they had, and just another right down the gut, catching Jalen Waddle where only Jalen Waddle could be caught. And what can you say about it? This guy, he continues to get mocked for his arm. He continues to go out there. People are like, oh, he can't throw. He's got a real noodle arm. I only saw one guy skip a pass today, like he was out there, playing a little game of cornhole, and that was Josh Allen. So, he was crazy to me. I mean, his number one receiver today was Singletary, who was just bailing him out left and right. Dolphins defense, what can you say about it? I mean, they really were trying to wreak havoc on this guy. He's so hard to bring down. They were doing everything they could to get into his head, whether it be hit him late, whether it be, dirty tactics at the bottom. I want to know what the hell Christian Wilkins was doing to him that made him rip off the helmet. We know this Christian Wilkins coming into the league, king of extracurricular activities. And for Josh Allen to rip his helmet off out of anger, I just got to think there was a junk grab in there. There either had to be a junk grab or an illegal poke. Something had to go on there that caused Josh Allen to have so much anger, to which he called football stuff. But I will say, as much as they care about, head health in this game, and everybody was worried about Tua Tagovailoa's, cranium and concussions and all that stuff, we gonna suspend this menace Josh Allen for ripping off Christian Wilkins' helmet like a nut job? I feel like if that was the other way around, if the quarterback's helmet got ripped off by the defensive lineman, people would be like, oh. There would be shock and awe around the league. But Josh Allen does it. He's like, oh, that's a fierce competitor, Josh Allen. Oh, look at him. He won't take anybody grabbing his junk for nothing. So, pretty wild game, man. It really was. It was really, really nutty to see that. Josh Allen saying after the game that it was football stuff. All right, whatever, dude. Football stuff. Grow up, Peter Pan. You're sitting there and you're grabbing people's helmets off because you can't take a little touch to the nuts. It's wild. But this game was crazy, man. It really was back and forth in so many ways early on in this game, because you had Buffalo start this game down. This was a wild thing. They had opened the game 7 straight games with an opening drive touchdown, and then made it 8. They go to Ken Dorsey before he lost his mind. He's sitting next to some bearded fellow with a ponytail that looks like he should be on Hunting Bigfoot. I don't know what that guy's job is, other than being like lumberjack coordinator. I'm not quite sure. He looks like Bill's Mafia. He looks like he jumps through tables. Which, by the way, how sweet it is to know all those idiots who were there on Fort Lauderdale Beach with that Bill's Mafioso takeover get to haul their ass back on their planes and go the hell back to upstate New York, only to freeze their ass off. And now just have to sit here and be like, oh, we were going to go 17-0. No, you weren't. All right, now while Zonk's watching, which, by the way, I got to get to some Zonk tweets on the end of that, because he was a real beaut today. He really was a huge, huge thing. Interesting thing that's coming out from Adam Schefter now. The NFL Players Association told the NFL it wants to initiate a review of the concussion protocols in light of Tua Tagovailoa's return to the game in Miami, per source. I mean, he told you it was a back injury. It wasn't head. Everybody was very scared for Tua. It was a really scary thing to watch. He was on jelly legs. It looked like he just got knocked out. Like, if you guys know I'm a big fight fan, and you see a guy who gets hit and he just doesn't have his legs under him. That was Tua. Now, he claimed after the game that it was on the QB sneak stuffed. Something happened, and then the fall from Matt Milano, I think is the guy's name, did the little late Shubsky, and he lands on his back, and he said that was what really, made it kind of crink up, and that's why he was the way that he was. We'll see. I do know that Tua was had the best drive of his game, because the Dolphins go down 7-0, and then it was drive got messed up by some penalties the first drive Dolphins had. Then you had a sick play from Snowman, strip sack from on a play by Javon Holland, stripping Josh Allen, Melvin Ingram, top NFTF, nose for the football, gets it. So the Dolphins get it at the 6 and are able to get it 7-7. It was a huge, huge play to really, you want those. Those are the types of plays you're going to need in a situation like that, where the Bills are rolling, they feel invincible at that time. They've killed everybody that they've played, and you need to know that you're going to show up and there's going to be some level of fight in your team. And they come back the next time around, and they have another touchdown drive, and they nearly get the ball back. Melvin Ingram had a sick sack. And the Dolphins, I mean, it was really funny because they had a lot of opportunities for even more turnovers. I was like, I don't know what the final count was, but it felt like there was like 6, maybe 6, 7 times where they had their hands on the football and felt like they had interceptions that could have gone the other way. Xavier Howard missed another one in that wild end of the first half play. But then after the Bills went up 14-7, Tua had his best drive of the game. And he comes in and he's just, it goes first down throw to first down throw. It goes Reek to Smythe to Waddle. And he gets Gesicki in motion. Then you get a nice run from Mostert. And then you get this little pitch to Waddle that goes for a lot. And then Tua just hits a real missile to River Craycraft, who has his second touchdown in as many games as they bring him up in the practice squad. As you know that Mike McDaniel likes to go with his guys from San Fran and all those people they trusted. But that was a real big answer back for Tua, too. So you already had the defense come up huge for you. Then you have this monster drive. And then you get to this, and then you get the defense's first stop, and you get the ball back with a chance to really get the lead. And this is where the injury happens. And, it feels good because Tua does this thing. He's getting chased down by Milano, and he's going to go for it. He's going to do the thing where he's going to try and extend the play. And he finds Waddle diving, but that's when you see him go down with the jelly legs. And Teddy Bridgewater comes into the game, and I mean, it just, it all went to hell. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater has not looked. It's a tough situation. I get it. You're a backup quarterback, but Teddy Bridgewater hasn't really looked good in the preseason. He hasn't looked good in practice. It's an awesome story to have Teddy Bridgewater here, but he has not performed well. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he does play, because remember, the Dolphins have a quick turnaround to Thursday. And there's a possibility that Teddy Bridgewater will start that game because Tua did not rule out the fact that he's back maybe really jacked up coming up this short turnaround against the Bengals. We'll see. I mean, that's what he's saying right after the game when he's in a lot of pain. Who knows what kind of supplements they'll stick in him. Who knows what this whole concussion protocol thing goes with the Miami Dolphins. Look, the Dolphins have had some questionable concussion decisions in the past. We remember Matt Moore in that game, in the playoff game, where all of a sudden he's out there and you're like, really? He's good to go? I'm pretty sure that wasn't the case. So, but they did announce, in fairness to the Dolphins, they didn't rule him out right away. They did say questionable, that he was going to be a questionable to return, and that it was one of those things where, all right, maybe hope wasn't going to be lost. But the Dolphins are able to hold at the end of the first half, and Josh Allen, people think that he was doing the Marino fake spike, but he ends up just fumbling the football. This is what I was saying. Like, the Bills got, it's an interesting game because it looks like the Bills dominated in every facet. You look at the numbers, you look at the time of possession, and it was like the ultimate bend don't break game because Josh Allen was just so hard to bring down. He's it's literally like tackling a moose. And you can't, when he gets running, it's so hard to tackle him. And so you'd have all these plays, and it's just so it'd be like two plays. It'd be either like a little dump off to like Singletary, or it would be Josh Allen running. And that was their best play. It really wasn't, going to digs deep or anything like that. And he, had some fumbles, had some near pickoffs and all that. Like, it wasn't this masterclass by Josh Allen, even though, you would look at his numbers and be like, wow, he put up a ton of yards. It's like, yeah, but he had the ball the entire game, and he basically, what did he throw it 61 times or something like that? So that's a bit weird. But the Dolphins, crowd's pumped. Tua comes out. He's there to play. But the Dolphins are also, not only is Tua hurt, but they got Greg Little who's hurt. They got lineman issues. Remember, Teron Armstead's not playing this game 100% as it is. Guys are, so Greg Little keeps having this thing mess up with his hands, so they got to kick a guy out. They got to bring in Coleman. They got to move over Robert Hunt. There's all this stuff going down. And then, the Dolphins get this, get a beautiful punt down to the 2. And, man, you think you got him on this one. And they're just able to keep it going and keep it going. And you got Bills who are just dehydrated and fallen by the wayside. And you can just tell that the heat is really, really starting to bug them. But on the other side of it, the Dolphins defense has to be out on that field forever. They had a time where the Dolphins got the ball in the second half to start. They go 3 and out. Or I think they go 4 and out, something like that. And then the Bills get the ball. The Dolphins get the ball back for 28 minutes of real time. And then they go 3 and out again. And Tua nearly threw a pick six. He got, you want to talk about lucky pickoffs. Like, he nearly threw one right into Matt Milano's hands. So Milano was already having the game where he nearly took Tua out, and then he nearly put a real hurting on the Dolphins with a pick six. But thankfully he dropped it. I guess that's why all these guys are on defense, because there were a lot of dropped interceptions today. But mostly from Josh Allen's side. So Dolphins go 3 and out, and then the Dolphins, you could tell at that point, like, the Dolphins defense either needed a turnover or a quick 3 and out. And the first play is Zach Moss burning them for a 43-yard run. So you already know that the Dolphins defense is, like, really, really hurting at this point. It's cooked. It's not feeling good. But thankfully, drive ends, field goal, 38-yard attempt, no good. So a huge stand by them. And this is the game this was the drive where the Dolphins jump out to the lead. They take the advantage of the missed field goal, and Tua hits Waddle for a 32-yard pass, and then he goes in, hits Tyreek for an 8-yard pass. Then Greg Rousseau hits a sack, Mostert for no gain, and then it's 3rd and 22. And this mother bleeper, Tua Tagovailoa, hits Jalen Waddle 45 yards down the field, big time shot. I was told the penguin was a flightless bird, dude. But let me tell you something right now. There's nothing flightless about Jalen Waddle, okay? He is the fastest mother bleeper outside of Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins got both of them. They can't be covered. They're so dangerous. They gave the Dolphins had the ball for like no time in this game. And even still in those windows, they're like, all right, let's not let Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle do anything. You can't. If you're doing all of your attention on the Tyreek Hill, which is probably what you should because he's the fastest, but then the second fastest is faster than anybody, and it doesn't matter. It was such an insane pass from Tua to Jalen Waddle, and then it was a beautiful thing. They get Tua. He tried to hit Edmonds, drops it, personal foul as they hit a defensive Edmonds, and then next play he rushes it in for the touchdown. Dolphins take the lead. The Dolphins go up 21-17 at this point, and once again, the Bills are about to go on this patented long-ass drive that just goes forever. It's like an 8-minute drive that you're just like, whoosh. Okay, so the Dolphins take the lead. You're feeling good about things, and then the Bills just like holding on to the football forever. And it looked like there were times where it looked like this drive was going to end for them. They sacked Josh Allen, and they sacked him. How many times did they get to him today? What did they get him, like 4 times today? They sacked Josh Allen 4 times today, the defense. It's just a really monster performance by them. And this like goes down right to the wire, dude. Like they get, you're talking about like he was able, you had guys just like within a grasp of getting him, either Jalen Phillips or Zach Sealer or Jerome Baker. Like every one of these guys was just like right at his ankles. And Jerome Baker was all over the place today. I thought that he played, for the most part, a really, really good game. Duke Riley, too. So I thought the Dolphins linebackers really were a key to that bend don't break. There was this one hit, too, by Christian Wilkins where their tight end Knox gets the ball. And like Christian Wilkins comes in like a battering ram out of nowhere and just trucks dude. And then Christian Wilkins, had this thing where I don't know what the hell happened between him and Josh Allen. Something happened, but Josh Allen was upset. He ripped off his helmet, so it was delightful. But that drive was huge, man. They get the stoppage on basically they get it down to the red zone. The Dolphins again, and we saw this last week, just monster stops when they get down. It is they're putting a whole new pressure on bend don't break, but they came through, dude. And so then you get to the point where the Dolphins get the ball back. It's on the 2. And they go with a run to Mostert. He nearly gets sacked in the end zone. They go to Tua. He keeps it. He gets like no gain. And then Von Miller's like all over Tua. And he has a little dump off to Mostert that doesn't go anywhere. And then so Morstead comes in for the punt. And Trent Green was like, well, maybe you just take the safety here. And I was like, what? And then, well, what? You put it within less than a field goal? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. What are you talking about? And Morstead ends up punting it right into Sherfield's ass. Like, it really, like, if the Dolphins would have lost this game for all the beauty of it and beating one of the best teams in the league, if you would have lost basically on the ass punt, the ass safety, it would have gone right up there with the Jets butt fumble. Like, thankfully, this will just go down as a funny. You guys remember that time when Morstead hit it right into Sherfield's ass? But thankfully, like, this didn't go down as like one of the all-time Dolphins follies of all time. So they get the safety. It's now less than a field goal. Field goal wins the game for the Bills. And the Dolphins just, they were able to, once again, it was just the entire theme. Like, bend, don't break, bend, don't break. And then Melvin Ingram just gets to stop. As the clock winds down, they come up with just a huge stand with them trying to get this field goal. Remember, they only need a field goal at this point. And they're at the 47. Josh Allen finds Isaiah McKenzie, goes 12 yards. Ingram stops him, and the clock runs out. And there was 18 seconds left when this play went down, and they had no time to get the play off. And Ken Dorsey, they go to him, and he loses it. Mwah. It was a beautiful thing. Hard to see for our boy Ken Dorsey down here, but he loses his mind in that little play box, in that little play calling box, and takes out one of the cameras. Like, he was that upset. I didn't know Ken Dorsey had that in him. He always kind of struck me as cool Ken Dorsey. Had him, when it was producer for Romberg and Zaslow, like, he'd come on all the time, and he's really, so laid back Ken Dorsey. To see him in that moment, that angry, was glorious. It really was. And then Tua, he does the little, pat on the head to Josh Allen, like, you try, Josh, good for you, buddy. Hey, I love you, Tua's so sweet. He's so sweet. But that defense, they really show just monster guts. This Dolphins team is 3-0. This town is on fire. They're going into a huge primetime matchup. That stupid Ryan Fitzpatrick has to watch Tua Tagovailoa, and you better sing his praises, you bearded bastard. You better say nothing but good things about Tagovailoa, because we know that you were sitting here and you were peacocking around. I don't know if he's good. It's not the arm strength. Really, like, how many 40-yard throws does he need to start the season? Because he seems to be racking them up. And by the way, I saw this Josh Allen. He was checked down Charlie all over the place today. So, I don't know. You tell me. It seems to me this has been a beautiful start to the season. Mike McDaniel, a true guru, a godsend from the football heavens. And your Miami Dolphins improved themselves to 3-0. What a glorious, glorious game it was.